Hi, welcome to Down the Track on InViewTV. My name's Bruce Mott, I'm your host, and on today's show we have top Fuel Driver Phil Lamattina and Nitro Funny car driver Justin Walshe. We'll be talking about all things the Nitro Champs coming up this weekend at Sydney and what I'm referring to as the coming together of Nitro. Let's bring them on the show now. Justin, hey Phil, welcome to Down the Track on InViewTV. How are you?
G'day, Bruce, mate. Glad to be joining you from sunny Queensland today. We've got perfect blue skies and about 24 degrees, so there's no place I'd rather be. Sitting here joining yourself and Phil to talk about a bit of drag racing.
Sounds good. And Phil, how you doing?
Yeah, thanks, Bruce, for having me. Feeling good and looking forward to this weekend also.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, there's lots of things to talk about. And Justin, I hope that fine weather makes its way down to Sydney. And we have fine weather on the weekend there. It's looking promising today anyway. So a few things to talk about. I like to think of this meeting as the coming together of Nitro. It's the first time Top Fuel and Nitro Funny Car have been racing together for, I don't know how many years, at least for championship points. How long do you think that's been? Would any of you know?
It would be probably since the mid to late 90s at a guest down at Calder Park.
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe 20, 25 years, but it's even more than that then, closer to 30.
Yeah, definitely been a long time
Yeah, I'd
coming.
say it's definitely more than 20 years because we've been racing fuel for 20 years now, and I think there was, well, I'm not too sure how much, before that, but definitely wasn't when we were, having a go.
So as we know, you're going to come together at the Winters in June at Willowbank, but circumstances have changed, and you're coming together at the Nitros in Sydney this weekend, and then the Winters. So exciting times, and I think it's just great for drag racing to see this happening, and long may it continue. How do you feel about it? Excited the fact that you're racing with the other Nitro class at the same event, Justin?
At the end of the day, I'm a die-hard drag racing fan, so I'm probably more excited for the fans than I am for me as a driver or a team manager or crew member or whatever you want to put on me as a label. But I'd love to be sitting on the hill down at Sydney and watching this meeting because not just the Nitro classes, I think nearly every class is oversubscribed in the professional categories. And then there's a huge following of sportsman races. It's just going to be one of those events to be at. It's going to be the equivalent of Winter Nationals, if you ask me.
Yeah, I guess you think the same, Phil?
Yeah, look, obviously, with the big winner, as Justin said, is going to be the spectators. I suppose at the end of the day, the worst people that come to a drag race meeting is actually the racer, because with these nitro categories, you don't really get to see much racing pretty much at all. And I suppose, as you said, with the numbers, especially with even the sportsmen, I've got my young bloke competing in the juniors, and there's over 40 junior dragsters competing at this race meeting as well. So you wouldn't imagine just going to watch a junior dragster. You might not even have the time to do that, and but it happens. So I'm excited. Obviously, we've got a job to do. We can't really get caught up too much in the emotion of the whole event. We've got a job to do, which is turn win lights on. So and especially we're having two opportunities there this weekend for us. It's critical for the championship. So we're excited, but so just pretty much excited about the job at hand and the task, I think, more importantly.
Yeah, as you say, exciting times, and you've got a job to do. You've got 2 rounds on the Saturday and Sunday. You've got a round each day. Justin, you got qualifying on the Saturday and your round on the Sunday, and then both leading into the Winters of the final round. And of course, you're both in the hunt for the championship, which is exciting for you both. I want to go back to the last event that you're both at. It was the Festival State Nationals in January for Funny Car and the Riverbend Nationals in April for Top Fuel. Let's start with Funny Car. Just bring up some footage here, Justin. We can walk through it. Actually, no, before I bring up your footage, I want to bring up I just took some random pictures of the bend, and I want to get your thoughts on the facility. I went there for the opening of the facility back in, I think it was October, Haven't been there since. And I just took some random pictures and just gave some thoughts on the whole facility and around the facility. And I was really impressed with everything that I saw. I just took some random pictures, and this was just a disabled area at the track. And I'm sure other tracks have it, but I just thought it was a really great spot, great for great facilities for everyone. And then when we saw, as we go on, the facilities that it had, the tractors looked all great. And everything I saw, the jet dryer, as said, this was the first event for the facility. Track looked fantastic up really close. I think that was taken on the Friday. Just everything looked spectacular. And we all know how well the track was prepared. I saw somebody comment online that the track here seemed to have a wider groove than what's in the US. Do you know if that's the case or not, anyone?
Oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't. Oh, it's all right if I answer that, Justin. No, I wouldn't say the groove is wider than in the US. What I feel like that we do have at the Bend is a facility that's probably realistically going by the age of tracks that are here in Australia, but also too in the US. You would have to say, I was going to say top 5, but the Bend would have to be in the top 10, I think, in the world, mainly because of obviously it's a new facility, but the way they were, had the ability to lay that surface down, it is so smooth. You nearly forget that you're going down the drag strip. Like a lot of times when after a run, and I sort of put this down to, say, for instance, after a really fast run, or a quick run or anything like that, you pull the chutes and you're wrestling the car to sort of stop it. At the Bend, it's like you pull the chutes and you really pretty much let go of the brake, and there's no bouncing of the chassis or anything like that, and nothing that unsettles the car, and you pull up actually quite easily. You actually fall in a trap that you feel like you're actually not going to make the turn. So I think that's where the ability to actually drive it out of the groove potentially in normal circumstances, and there's not a lot of grip out there. What happens with the Bend, it's so flat and so smooth that if you do get out there, the track actually has a little bit of bite still in it, either being prepped or glued or whatever it is. It just has that ability, and I think that's where you see that quick times, because a lot of times, the tracks you watch, or the runs, sorry, you watch from the deep end, the cars are moving around a fair bit, even though, you feel like you're going quite straight in the car or in the vehicle as a driver, but you're sort of manhandling it. It's mainly because of the ability that the car the rear wheels want to go past the front wheels, and that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to keep it straight. Dragsters, we have that probably a little bit more flexibility, and Justin can sort of elaborate on this one, but the funny cars having such a short wheelbase, they're up against it, constantly, where the car's trying to turn itself around.
Justin, yeah, agree with that?
Yeah, look, I would definitely agree with what Phil said. One of the biggest bonuses with the Bend is obviously the fact that it's probably the newest full concrete laid track, obviously in Australia and potentially in the world at the moment. I don't follow all the tracks in America, but as far as Australia goes, it's obviously the newest concrete surface we've got. So it is smooth, like Phil said. When you're chucking a lap down that track, you kind of get a little bit lost and go, hang on, why does this feel different? And the reason it feels different is because it is so smooth. And I in qualifying, because we were still running 1,000 foot we were running quarter mile, in January, and I ran a 320 mile an hour pass in qualifying, and it did get out of the groove past 1,000 foot and got over near the wall, and I was able to keep it hard yanked to the right. Like Phil said, a dragster, you probably sashay a little bit more, whereas the funny car, you've got to manhandle it a lot. And usually at 1,000 foot, if that thing shoots over near the wall at its normal track, you would lift. But down there at the Bend, I was quite confident to stay in it, and I pretty much had my hands at 12, so vertical on the wheel, and just held it off the wall, went through for 320 mile an hour, it's a testament to what they built, but also I think a big testament to Justin Simpson and how far he's come with his track preparation, because the guy's doing a cracker job at every venue we take him to for the NDRC, and given him that brand new surface in Adelaide, he's really been able to show his potential of what he's learned from the guys overseas, and then he's put his own little twist on it, and he's giving us a pretty consistent track right across the country.
Fantastic. Just some other pictures I got there. The stands is great. The screens. One comment I'd have on the stands: you're so close to the return road and the track, as we can see there. I noticed that when you come up the return road after you've done a pass, if you're down about where I was sitting or any closer, we can't actually see you because we're up above you. You're on the lane closest to the wall, so we can't see you coming back. So I don't know, unless it's changed now, but it would be good if the facility actually puts you in the other lane when you go back, and then the crowd can see you as you come back. Just little things that
Yeah,
picked up.
yeah, we did know that they've got the return road back to front. They've got it like a US road where you're driving on the wrong side of the road as you tow back, and there's only very small white arrows that tell you which lane to be on. And we saw a few people nearly have a head on as someone would be coming down the golf buggy on the
Yeah,
left
okay.
hand side of the road, up the other way on the wrong side of the road. So yeah, you're probably right. They could reverse those and make it a bit better. But
Yeah,
everything
well,
else about the place, like they've really thought about their OH&S.
yeah.
It's a really good venue. Hopefully, to extend the grandstand because the grandstand doesn't go much past 80 feet, and I'm sure for their small events it's perfect. But when you get Top Fuel down there, or Nitro Funny Car, or the Door Slammers, or Pro Alcohol, you start to fill that place up. There's a lot of people that have got to stand up all day, so hopefully as they can generate some income, they'll extend that grandstand and make it better viewing for everyone.
I'm sure they will. Yeah, as you said, as they build, I mean, it was a great start. Just that opening event was a great start, and I'm sure the facility will build as it goes on. Lots of
Yeah.
comments about the height of the wall. That's actually a ladder that goes over the wall, so the staff can jump onto the track if need be. So yeah, there has been comments about how high the wall is. I did read somewhere it is higher than the standard height. Don't know the reason for it, but seems to work well. And I did notice there that Sarah had to jump on that milk crate to jump over to guide you back, Phil. So I guess they might need.
Yeah, that's
I don't know
correct. She
about the
had to have her own
OH&S
milk
just
crate
there.
to get over. Otherwise, she would. She couldn't. She actually couldn't get over.
So maybe that's something we looked at and helped the backup staff for that. And that's just some pictures of the track that I took. But the whole facility was really good. And one thing I noticed was then outside the facility. So I don't know, for people who haven't been to the Bend, that's an OTR service station just right outside the Bend, has the Hungry Jacks and all that sort of stuff. And I just noticed, and I don't know if this is an OTR culture or something, but just how happy everybody was and how good the service was, whether you're just getting Hungry Jacks or getting fuel or something like that. I noticed it was a really good culture. Everyone seemed to be happy that the drag racing was happening. And yeah, I don't know if it's an OTR culture, but I thought it was really good. The whole thing was good. There's the pits. There's some of the accommodation, which is once again 5 minute walk from the track. A big caravan park there with cabins and all sorts of things, and it's just really good for the spectator. And I'm sure all the crew were staying there as well, and obviously some guys with some nice bikes. And then on the Friday, see, you guys, I don't think were initially going to race on the Friday. And then because the competitors' numbers or something, you were racing on the Friday. But in town, they had this streetcar show all organised. So apparently they do this once a year, but they organised it for the opening of the track. And they want to do it in conjunction with a drag racing event each year. And it was brilliant. It had some great cars, heaps of people there. It was kid friendly. They had bands, music, all sorts of cars, all up and down the street. As I said, kid friendly. Lots of people just sitting on the sidewalk and all that sort of stuff. Bikes, there's some really cool bikes. That one there, I don't know if I'd want to be riding that one, but it looks an interesting bike. And yeah, just a really great atmosphere. They want to do that every year. Had these things and racetracks for the kids, and food, and as I said, they had bands. And on the main street is the Talon Hotel. And I went in there just to do the old pub test, just to see what their thoughts are on drag racing and all that. And I met the guy that actually owns the pub. And he'd never been to a drag racing event in his life, but he was really talking it up. He was talking about the 300 kilometre an hour rails, as he called them, with their $50,000 tyres and all that sort of stuff. Didn't quite have all these facts right, but he was certainly trying to build it up. And I went and had a chat to him later. I said, I'll get you tickets to an event one time so you can come and check it out properly. Because he was really pumping it up. So it was good to see it all. And definitely recommend for people that go to the event, go check out that. Let's have a look at you now racing, Justin. So, Justin,
Yeah,
tell us all about what we're seeing here.
Yeah, Bruce. Look, it's a hard one for the old memory bank these days because we're in the middle of May, and this event was back in January. And I have to admit, I'm not really one for reading the time cards. Kind of my job these days is pack the truck, drive the truck, help set up the pit, and then get up there, cut a light, and get the car down the track. The brains trust that tune the car, sit in the trailer there is Graham Frawley and Dave Mullins, and they're more about reading the ET slip. So from memory in qualifying, we did a couple of very low 5.1, maybe 5.0 passes, and we ran a 496 at 320 mile an hour, which was the best for us. And then in racing, again, I'm pretty sure we ran 2.51s or maybe a 5.1, a 5.2 and a 5.0 against Morris in the final. And fortunately, the boys put a pretty good tune up in it on race day because the track was pretty slick compared to on qualifying. So it was a bit slippery, and Graham and Dave just put a safe tune up to get it down there. And I just step right up and cut a good light to beat Morris in the final there, which is what it looks like I'm seeing live now, which is pretty cool footage to see. And then, as you'll see in a minute, the car gets the old wheel wobble where it starts to want to literally rip my hands off. It's something just that happens with short wheelbase cars, and hopefully we can get rid of that soon because it will start to break parts off. But again, it's one of the spectacles of funny cars, and it's show the fans what Nitro Funny Car is because everyone's so used to Top Fuel. And if there's two things that people know about drag racing, it's Top Fuel and Victor Bray. It's anytime someone comes in my business and I tell them that I drag race, they go, "Oh, do you race those long, skinny things with flames?" And you say, "No, I race a funny car." And they say, "Oh, is that what Victor Bray runs?" You say, "No, he's got a door slammer." So really for us, every meeting's about education and just showing the fans and the crowd what it's all about because they just don't quite understand what's sitting under those carbon fibre shells and how stupid we are to strap ourselves into them.
And you mentioned, I think, quarter mile and 1,000 foot. So you've now switched to 1,000 foot. I wasn't quite sure why you were running quarter mile to start with, to be honest with you, but that's just my opinion. Are you glad you moved to 1,000 foot, and what made that decision happen?
Look, yes and no. I'm obviously it's not my choice what distance we run to, but if I could choose, I actually would have stayed quarter mile. Since the NHRA moved to quarter mile, moved to 1,000 foot some 15 years ago, the safety of the cars has come a long way. So the four-wheel carbon brakes, the Kevlar parachutes, the electromotion safety systems and everything like that that's on them, where yet at any track we've run quarter mile up to 332 mile an hour is the quickest, we don't even make the corner. And that's on quarter mile. So we literally do not make the return road. We can get pushed off. So from a driver's point of view, I love going quarter mile because that's what you've grown up with is quarter mile. From a fan's point of view, what we worked out in Adelaide was they were confused that we were going quarter mile, and they kept saying to us, "How come you're a second slower than Top Fuel?" So we continually had to explain to them that, well, we run 1,320 feet, whereas they run 1,000 feet. So I've got a million opinions on that actual topic, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with both the dragsters and the funny car running running 1,000 foot, what it actually does for the time for the show. Because if you watch the NHRA, very, very rarely do dragsters or cars make the loop. They get stopped on the track and they've got to get pushed off. And the majority of tracks we've got have only got one push quad.
Yeah, okay.
So it's going to really slow the show down. I'm hoping the crowd don't get put off by that.
All right, a good point. I see what you're saying. Yeah, well, it'd be interesting. I think the crowd will initially appreciate that you're both running 1,000 foot. It gives them something to sort of compare and something consistent between the two.
Yeah.
But if the byproduct
that was the main drive behind bringing it to 1,000 foot is so that it's just simple for the crowd to understand.
Yeah.
And once we get ourselves sorted as a class, on a good day we should be in the 390s and the dragsters should be in the 370s. There should always be about that 2/10 gap between the best dragster and the best funny car, and that's what we'll be aiming for.
All right, let's hope that's what it is, and that the show isn't impacted by that byproduct of you not making the turn. Phil, let's talk about
Yeah.
your event back at the Bend. Once again, you were successful. So walk us through how that event went.
Well, realistically, we struggled in the first day in qualifying. We were just nowhere near anything, and we ended up. We knew we had a good car. It was just a couple little things just plagued us on the Saturday. Anyway, collectively put our thinking head caps on, and on on Sunday we were able to just pull it together. And the first one was the whole shot win with against Newbie in first round. So and then from there, I suppose with the all run format, you can just basically the second run, we were lucky enough to have that as a solo. Well, not lucky enough, but we ended up as a solo because Phil Reed couldn't front, and we ended up that was that run there, and still ran 82 with a hole out and everything. So, like I said, the car's good. We just got to fine tune it a little bit, and then put us with 2 wins and went straight into the final. So, and that was when I suppose reality sort of hit for me, was when we're up against Damien Harris, where he just reset the national record with a 73. So then obviously for us, we were just we just wanted to turn up, and the pressure was really on Damien, and I was able to cut a decent light, and we got through there, and with an 80 on a 78 with a whole shot win again. So, and for us, man, it was just the best thing since sliced bread for us. It was awesome, and obviously a bit emotional there with Gavin and all that sort of thing. So yeah, for us, we incrementally we've been going better and better. Like we made the final in Perth, and then we made the final again in Adelaide, and runner up in Perth, won it in Adelaide, and now we'll go to Sydney with a small amount of confidence, But on any given day, any one of them cars that turn up can beat us and win and all that sort of thing. So realistically, no expectations, just keep trying our best, and hopefully see where the chips fall. And 2 opportunities, having one in Sydney, might as well get that out there because that's a massive monkey on my back. But so hopefully 2 opportunities, I can sort of shake that and hopefully get a win or 2. That'll be pretty cool.
Well, you both did your job at the Bend, didn't you? As you said, a whole shot win for you, 2 whole shot wins, Phil. And Justin, you did a 002 light, I think, in the final. So you both did your job to get over the line. And as you can see on the
I've known since we started running the car that we're not quite as fast as Morris and Brandon's car yet. But again, like Phil said, any car on any given day can win. They've from the diff right up to the front of the car, they've all got the same parts. It's just whether or not your brains trust sitting in that trailer turns the screws the right way and everything lines up and nothing breaks and fails. They can all go fast and win the race. But we've just been slowly as a team learning and creeping up on our tune-up. So I've had to be a little bit of I guess you'd call it almost driving a bit like John Force, where I do throw it in a bit deep in the stage. So I can cut the absolute best light I can because I know that the other car in the lane's got usually a 10th on me. Probably flirted with it a little bit too much in Adelaide, going 002. I didn't put the top bulb out, but it would have been just about flicker. And I did get a bit of a rap over the knuckles, so I won't do that again. But at the end of the day, I believe we go racing to win races more than we go to chase time slips. So when it gets to the final, it's game on. Let's see if you can get to the first and win the race. And we beat TJ first round. We got runner up against Morris in Perth second round. Then we won third in Adelaide. So whatever we're doing as a team, we're not the best out there, but we're doing a pretty good job of it. And I'm very, very proud of all my boys.
Yeah, very good, very good. I'm going to finish off with 2 questions for you both. I'll start with you, Phil. Your plans, obviously, for the event, but who would you like to take down the most? Who would you like to beat the most? And you actually got 2 chances because you got 2 events. You got the Saturday and the Sunday.
Oh man,
Come on, there's been a
I've
bit of
been
trash talk
talking
on
that
social
much
media.
shit. Oh, mate, like I've been trash talking Pete Zibris like you wouldn't believe. And now, I've come up with the slogan, the rapper slayer. And so, we're all having a little bit of fun. And look, my luck's going to run out 100% in karma. And that train is going to come storming through. And, we love it. We're having fun. We're having a ball. Just everyone's just gelling. The performance of the cars are just world class at the moment, and it's tough. So at the end of the day, all we want to do is just put on a show for the spectator and for the bloke that pays, or the people that pay the money to sit on the hill. And for us, everyone, we want to beat everyone, and to be the best, you want to beat the best. So really, at the end of the day, at this stage here, I'd love to beat, probably Damien, and then probably me. It would have to be my top favourite person to beat. Would have to be Pete Zibris.
All right. So Damien one day, Pete another day. Then.
Yeah, that's
take
it.
Out 2 wins. Damien in one final, Pete in the other. That would be your ideal weekend.
Well, could you imagine that? Like, seriously, you wouldn't even think about it, but how cool would that be? That would be awesome. I'd nearly retire from that, I reckon, after that.
We might as well get greedy and go for a low ET and top mile per hour of the event as well.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's not up to me.
What about you, Justin? Who would you like to take down?
Well, I certainly like Phil's very diplomatic, long way around the answer there. Instead of just saying he wants to beat Pete fair and square, it was a pretty cleverly answered question. Look, I'm not usually one for smack talk, but by pure coincidence, myself and Morris are both tied on 321 points for the lead in the championship. And the way they calculate the points is pretty intense. You've got to have a degree in mathematics to know how to do it. So I probably should maybe request some forensic accounting to make sure the numbers are right. But look, I don't necessarily want to beat Morris. I want everyone else to beat Morris because that'll help me in the points. So at the end of the day, for me, I want to beat whoever's in the other lane. But I'm really hoping some of the other guys can step up and take the win off in the early rounds, because 3-round format, like in Sydney against TJ, I lost first round, but then I won the whole race meeting. So it's a real tactical game where you've got to be clever, and come round 2s when you've got to get the win and get those ET points, and then anything can happen. So I'm more cheering on the other 5 guys to go out there and beat Morris and help me try and win a championship, because he won it last year, so he doesn't need it again.
All right, so it's you in the field against Morris then.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Well, I hope your wishes come true as well, and likewise for you, Phil. Good luck, gentlemen, for both yourselves on the weekend, and of course for your team and everyone involved. I'm looking forward to it. I fly in Friday morning. Can't wait to get to the track and spending 3 days there with some brilliant racing and some great fans and just a great entertainment, and of course the aerobatics with the plane and all that's happening. So looking forward to the whole spectacle. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Justin.
No worries. Thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce.